The heavily policed reopening of Echo Park Lake after national outcry against the sweep of an encampment there shows that locals and government are still at odds. I'm Yoonj Kim, and this is MTV News Need to Know. On Wednesday, LA's Echo Park Lake reopened after 2 months of renovations. Earlier this year, an encampment of over 200 unhoused people were removed from the park despite peaceful protests. Activists at the protests said they were faced with an estimated 400 LAPD officers carrying non-lethal weapons, and 182 people were arrested, including 3 journalists. Many community members' reactions show there is so much more to the story than simply cleaning up a park. The park's swan boats and grilling stations now have the backdrop of a surrounding fence, in part to prevent people from setting up tents. Security cameras cover the grounds, and according to locals, there's an increase in LAPD officers on bikes, horses, and working undercover. Street vendors who used to sell elote and pupusas within the park are also banned. Urban planner Ananya Roy tweeted, "The park is now the stomping ground of the police and police cadets whose presence is constant and overbearing. This is what the afterlife of displacement looks like." Several Angelenos accused LAPD cadets of distributing confusing flyers on local crime that some have speculated could cause confusion and fear. Local advocacy group K-Town for All posted a video where an LAPD cadet passing out the flyers didn't seem to know what they meant.
Tell me how the map works.
You can go. We have these stars here, so we can see where we are.
Yeah.
The streets, the names of the streets, so we can all be safe.
But where is the crime?
Where the stars are.
But what does that mean? Nothing that has no numbers on it or anything.
City Councilman Mitch O'Farrell's office said that a private security company is being contracted to partner with the LAPD to watch over the property, though no further details have been released about the name of the company or how it's being funded. At the park's reopening, attendees asked him about the whereabouts of the displaced people who were living in the Echo Park encampment, but O'Farrell refused to answer. The displacement of people experiencing homelessness at Echo Park Lake also sheds light on LA's history of gentrification. The government has contributed to the housing crisis that pushed people to the streets in the first place through policies like Eminent Domain, which allows the government to buy private property and put it toward public use. We saw this in 2007 when 50 affordable Echo Park homes were torn down to build an elementary school, ousting the mostly immigrant and elderly residents who couldn't afford the inflated rent. Entrepreneur Joe Sandberg tweeted about the cycle that follows. The median price for an LA home is $750,000. This locks out a majority of LA families, inflates rent, fosters gentrification, and stagnates the ability to build generational wealth. Most Angelenos are working or middle class. They should be able to buy a home in their own neighborhood. Eminent Domain also allows the government to seize private property to transfer ownership to private developers. A notable example is the Staples Center. Built in 1999, the city provided $70 million in funding for the firm AEG, owned by billionaire Philip Anschutz. And today, it is one of the most profitable buildings in the world. But 250 locals were driven out of their homes to make way for its construction, mostly low-income Latinx families, and some say they were intimidated into selling their homes or removed by other questionable eviction practices. Today, the neighborhood surrounding the Staples Center is Skid Row, which makes you wonder, who are these buildings and renovations really benefiting when locals are sleeping on the sidewalks just outside? Local author Jessica Salgado tweeted what many residents are feeling about the question of public lands and ownership. "When the houseless folks were violently removed, it hurt. We all deserve to find refuge in our city's public spaces." And while the issue of homelessness is complex, the local government responsible for the economic conditions that cause it in the first place should be helping its struggling citizens. And Angelenos are not about to give up this fight. I'm Yoonj Kim, and that's what you need to know.